Rules pertaining to looking and clothing. This lesson and the next one are mentioned due to the abundance of necessary rulings and its relation to the discussion of clothing. We will divide this section of jurisprudence into a few categories in order to explain it comprehensively. A man must cover his private parts in front of other men and women, mahram or non-mahram. He must also cover them in front of a child who can distinguish between right and wrong. A woman must cover her whole body in front of a non-mahram man, even in front of boys who can distinguish between right and wrong. Of course, according to the verdicts of some marja taqlid, a woman can leave her face uncovered to the extent that is washed in wudu, and her hands up to her wrists, provided that they are not adorned, or if they're not wearing any makeup, or someone does not look at them in the intention of taking pleasure. A woman's face and hands must be covered if they are made up with eyeliner, or she has plucked her eyebrows, or are adorned with rings, bracelets, nail polish, or anything else. It is self-evident that the ears, neck, and under the chin are not considered as parts of the face and consequently should be covered. It is not obligatory for women to cover their feet to the ankles. However, they should cover them in case a non-mahram is present. It is important to mention that only covering the body is not enough. Instead, the shape and curves of the body must be concealed in order that upon looking, no sin is involved. For this reason, it is good to wear a chador in addition to one's regular clothing. Likewise, a woman must cover her private parts in front of other women, mahram men, and children who can distinguish from right and wrong. Wearing shuhrat clothes, which is clothing whose materials, styles, colors, or the way they are worn are unusual, that stand out or attract the attention of non-mahrams, is forbidden. According to the verdicts of some marja taqlid, it is forbidden for a Muslim to wear clothing that is exclusive for non-Muslims. Likewise, men must refrain from wearing women's clothing and women must refrain from wearing men's clothing. Rules regarding to looking. Before going on into the different sections of the subject, we must mention the following general rulings. It is forbidden to look at anything or anybody lustfully or in a way that one would fall into sin. It doesn't matter if one is looking at a man or an animal, a picture or a movie, alive or lifeless, for example, a sculpture. Looking at the same sex. A man can look at another man's entire body except his private parts, and a woman can look at another woman's entire body except her private parts. Children who can distinguish between right and wrong fall under the same rulings as adults. Looking at a mahram of the opposite sex. Men and women can look at the entire body of a mahram except their private parts. Looking at a non-mahram. It is forbidden for a man to look at a non-mahram woman except the parts of her face that are washed in wudu, and her hands up to her wrists. This is with the condition that she has not worn makeup or any adornment. There is no problem for a man to look at the parts of a non-Muslim woman's body that are usually left uncovered. Of course, the general principle must be adhered to, which means he cannot look with lust. The next ruling is for a woman looking at men. This is an important subject because usually only the subject of men looking at non-mahram women is mentioned. But one must pay attention to the fact that it is also forbidden for a woman to look at a man, except for the parts of his body that are normally left uncovered.
ولی باید توجه داشت که نگاه زن به مرد نامحرم هم حرام هست با همون توضیحی که در بخش اول گفته شده، یعنی در بخش نگاه آقایون به خانم ها. ولی مواردی یا جاهایی که معمولا آقایون نمیپوشونن مثل سر و گردن و امثال اینها اشکالی نداره بدون قصد لذت نگاه کردن، چون این سوال زیاد هم مطرح میشه. مثلا خانم ها در کلاس درس هستن، استاد مرد نامحرم هست و سر و گردن رو هم نپوشونده است، آیا میتونن به استاد نگاه کنن یا نه؟ این مقداری که معمولا نمیپوشونن بدون قصد لذت و ریبه اشکالی نداره.
Excuse me, I wanted to ask a question. Is looking indirectly, for example, looking through a window or in a mirror, different from looking directly at the person? The cases that you asked about, for example, a man looking at a non-mahram woman through a mirror has the same ruling as looking at her directly. Of course, movies and pictures have different rulings.
و همچنین از پشت شیشه با نگاه مستقیم از نظر حکم شرعی تفاوتی نداره، ولی بحث فیلم و عکس حکم جداگانه‌ای داره.
According to the verdict of some marja taqlid, a live television program falls under the ruling of looking at a person, and a taped or recorded program falls under the ruling of a picture. Excuse me, when is it permissible to go to a non-mahram doctor? This is an exception. If someone cannot find a specialized doctor of the same sex, here they are allowed to refer to a doctor that is non-mahram. There is also no problem for the doctor to look at the necessary amount of their patient's body, but no more than what is required.
این اشکالی نداره، منعی نداره، یا اگر وجود داره این خانم دسترسی نداره، شهر دیگه است که نمیتونه بره، در این مورد مراجعه اشکالی نداره. از اون طرف هم برای پزشکان در مقام معاینه و معالجه در صورتی که لازم و ضروری باشد به مقدار ضرورت اشکالی نداره. حالا من توضیح عرض میکنم که مثلا اگر قسمتی از بدن رو نگاه میکنن که برای معالجه یا معاینه لازم هست، یه سایر قسمت های بدن جایز نیست نگاه کنن. اگر یه مدت کوتاهی ضرورت برطرف میشه ادامه اون هم جایز نیست.
One cannot look when they doubt if looking is permissible or forbidden. It is forbidden for a man to look at a picture of an unveiled, non-mahram Muslim woman who he knows.